If you sell on Shopify, then let me ask you a question. When was the last time you sat down and crafted and truly created an offer for your ideal buyer? Now, I'm not talking about taking a listing, putting it up on Shopify, or downloading a bundle app so people could choose some random products. I mean, really crafted an offer for the buyer that you're trying to attract. If you either don't remember the last time, have never done that, or you're wondering what's the difference between that and just putting up a product listing, then let me walk you through why you absolutely must be focused on this and how to do it. So the first question is naturally why? Why bother with offer creation and spending so much time on this when nobody else does it, right? We can just put an offer up, maybe put some bundles together and let people go to the store and shop. Well, that is the reason to do it, is that no one does this. And it's always shocked me in the e-commerce world and the Shopify world how you rarely hear anyone say, my offers suck. That's the problem. That's why I'm not able to scale my ads, or that's why I'm stuck in my business and can't scale beyond 10 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand a month. The offer is never the thing, right? It's always my ads don't work. When I try to scale them, they break down, which is a legitimate issue, which, by the way, better offers solves. But cash flow is an issue, supply chain, whatever it might be, but you don't ever really hear about offers being the issue. And it's interesting because the best marketers in the world know you start with the offer. They actually start with the offer when they're creating everything they're going to do. They craft the offer first, then they worry about fulfillment and what the content will be in there and everything that's going to be involved in delivering it to the customer. They first focus on what do we create so that the person we want to attract, again, says, yes, I want that. It's exactly what I'm looking for. Nobody has that. Shut up, take my money. So that alone, I believe, is a reason to focus on this. Whenever you hear that no one does it, none of your competitors do it, yet the best people in the world do it, that should already, alarm bells should go off that this is a competitive advantage that you can get. So that's number one. Number two is it completely changes the economics of your business. When you are no longer competing on just price, or you're no longer doing what everyone is doing, and you create offers that have higher average order value with better profit margin and with higher conversion rates, that virtually solves all other problems. I mean, it is the fastest way to solve ad problems, profitability problems, conversion problems, emails not converting, all the issues that you actually hear about. Offers many times can be the thing that solves most of them. So completely changing the economics of your business. The third reason to focus on building offers is it's going to allow you to stand out in a sea of the same competitors. Selling products online has become commoditized. It's easy to start a Shopify store. It's easy to source product. It's easy to put it together, package it, fulfill it, sell it, right? There isn't a lot of barrier to entry anymore. So you have to find a way to stand out. And in a sea of sameness, right? Everyone's selling the same thing. And sure, you could stand out with a little more creative ads and better ad copy and better images. Those absolutely will affect your conversion rate. But at the end of the day, one of the most powerful levers you can pull to stand out is crafting better offers. So let's talk about how we're actually going to do this. And I recommend one of my favorite mental models is to invert the question. This is something I learned from Charlie Munger, and Charlie Munger actually learned it from a 16th century mathematician, Carl Jacobi. So the reason Carl Jacobi said invert, always invert, is because he found that there were just some math problems that the only way to solve them was to invert the problem. Well, this idea of inverting can actually be one of the fastest paths to success and to wisdom in business and in life. So for example, if you wanted to find the secret to living a happy life, a fulfilling life, right? You could invert the question and say, well, how do I ensure that I live a completely miserable life? Now, I know this sounds weird, but hear me out. How do I completely ensure that I live a miserable life? Well, I'm sure you could make a list of a few things, right? So if you would just avoid those things, you would actually put yourself on a path to living a fulfilling life. Because so many times, this is another Charlie Munger quote, is it's incredible the competitive advantage he has gotten by simply avoiding stupidity and not necessarily doing anything really brilliant. Because doing brilliant things, I mean, it's hard to do, right? But avoiding mistakes is so much easier. So if we were to invert this question, how do I ensure that I completely blend in and I go broke? Well, mimic what everyone's doing, like literally just copy what everyone's doing. Anything that I see happening amongst my competitors, do that. And make sure that the only way that I can differentiate my product is on price by just racing to the bottom. Those are like two guaranteed ways to blend in and go broke. So it follows that we should absolutely avoid those things, and we already put ourselves on a path to a more successful outcome. So then, instead of racing to the bottom on price, let's talk about the difference between value and price. Because once we create that separation between value and price and no longer link those two things, that's when we start to create compelling offers. We shift our thinking to start thinking about what the prospect wants, and that it's not our product, it's the outcome of our product, right? Of what it's going to deliver for them, the destination it's going to get them to. And we start to think about, well, how do we increase the value for them while not increasing the price? Because that discrepancy we create between value going up and price staying the same, and even if it goes up a little bit, if the value skyrockets, that discrepancy is what starts to make the product feel free. The price becomes less and less relevant. So I'll give you, it's kind of a silly example, but it's an extreme example to illustrate my point. If I grabbed my iPhone 13, let's say, and it has a cracked screen, I say, I'll sell this to you for $1,000. You would say no, because you are a wise shopper. But if I said, let's say I have a 10,000 square foot house with an indoor pool, 3 acres, beautiful, beautiful piece of property, beautiful home, flawless, everything you'd love, I'll sell you that for $1,000. You would say, yes, sir, I will take that deal, right? The house basically is free. It's the same $1,000. The price is the same, but the discrepancy between the value and the price is so much that the price became irrelevant. And too many times we are selling, because we're not focusing on value at all people can think about is the price. But if we can get to the value that they want, we can actually charge more and create a bigger discrepancy still, which makes it easier for them to make the buying decision, breaks down barriers, allows them to convert, trade their money for our product and our offer that we've given them. So with that in mind, let's talk about how do you then actually craft this offer. I'll give you a concrete example. So the first thing you must do is put yourself in the mind of your prospect. So you have to think about who is it that is going to buy from you. And then you want to think, why are they buying this? Okay? Yes, they want quality. Yes, they want a pen that writes, that allows them to put their words on the paper. Fine. But why are they buying it? What is the end goal? What's the destination? What's the motivation behind it? What pain are they running away from? What pleasure are they running towards? And once you identify that, then you want to figure out how do you get there? How do you get them there? And this is the offer creation piece. How do you get them there as fast as possible? What can you do? What can you put together? What can you bundle, give to them to get them there as fast as possible, as easy as possible, on the most guaranteed path because others have gone on that path as possible. And for good measure, throw in scarcity and urgency. Now, I want to talk about those two because you hear that all the time. Scarcity and urgency. You have to have scarcity and urgency, like it's one thing. Well, those are actually two very different things. And understanding the distinction is going to make your offers more powerful. Scarcity is a constraint on quantity. So if I only have 50 of these and 30 of them sell, I have 20 left. And then I've got 15, and then I've got 10, and then I've got 5, right? It's a scarce thing that the quantity is coming down on every time it sells. That motivates people to take action because if they don't, there's fear of missing out, and they want to get theirs, right? And there is a real deadline where they have to get it on the number of products. It's a scarce resource that they have to buy. Urgency is bound by time. So that is flash sale ends Sunday at midnight. Last day to ship for Christmas, December 18th. That is a time-based constraint, and they have to act before that time or else it goes away. The opportunity to get the offer goes away. And you need to have both of those things. So we're going to get them the result that they want, the big promise, the pleasure, the aspiration that they want as fast as possible, as easy as possible, on the most guaranteed path possible, with scarcity and urgency thrown in for good measure. So let me give you an example. This is from real life. This was recently. I was looking for a gift for my sister. Her birthday was coming up. And I just couldn't find the right gift. So I actually had to think about this offer creation so that I could give her a gift. Because what did I want more than anything? I wanted to give her a gift that made her stop and say, oh my gosh, thank you. It's like you read my mind. I wanted to be the world's greatest brother, the world's greatest gift giver, right? You know, the win is when a tear goes down the cheek. Like, yes, when you give a gift and they cry, you nailed it. So I started thinking, okay, how do I build this gift? And I'm like, what does she really want? Well, I know she's had a book in her heart forever. She's always wanted to be an author and write a book. She's lived an incredible life. She has so many stories to tell, and it's an incredible journey she's been on. And I know that is inside of her. So I know that's what she wants, right? So then how can I help her get that as fast as possible, as easy as possible, on the most guaranteed path possible? So I looked at, what is she going to need? If she wanted to write a book today, what is she going to need? She's going to need, and she's never written a book, she's going to need some instruction, right? A proven path to write your first book. She's going to need a journal or something to write in to inspire her. She's going to need inspiration. She's going to need something to write with, right? So I'm thinking of all these things, and I ultimately want to make sure that when she gets it, it's this incredible gift. So I went out and I sourced these different things, and I essentially created the offer. I went and looked at, so guaranteed path. What was the highest rated, highest reviewed, best reviewed book for new authors to write their first book? I grabbed that book. What is the number one aid that they used to help them get there, that people found was indispensable? It was a workbook that went with that book. I grabbed that. Then I got her a journal to inspire her. It was a beautiful journal, amazing embroidered cover. It was beautiful. Put that there. Then I got a really classy pen, so it felt like it was momentous. Every time she grabbed her pen, it felt like something special was happening. I put all that together, tied it, had a handwritten note, and I think the note said, I know there's a book inside of you. Here's everything you need to share it with the world. And I packed it all up and I gave it to her. And of course, she loved it. It was amazing. It was a great moment for me because it worked, right? Like everything that I had thought of. And ultimately, I created that offer. And that right there, I would have paid. I mean, I had to source all that to do that and think through this. But if I would have gone to a site, or if I would have seen an ad and it would have positioned their offer like that, I would have not looked at, okay, well, that costs that and that costs that, and how much is that? And honestly, the handwritten note would have been a priceless thing because I have horrible penmanship, so it would have looked really nice, whoever wrote it. But putting that package together, I would have paid an absolute premium for. I guarantee I would have paid more than any individual item, and they would have given me what I wanted like that. If I didn't have to think through all of that, they would have given me the end result I wanted by me clicking add to cart, clicking checkout, and it would have showed gift wrapped, ready to go. So that is just one example. And we've done this with clients over and over again. There's a lot of ways to construct these offers. But what I want you to do is to start thinking about not your product. It's hard when we're physical product sellers because we put so much attention on the product, right? It's, the grip of the pen. Is it good ink? The color, is it blue ink? Is it black ink, right? Like we put so much focus on the thing because that's what we're doing. We're sourcing products. We're finding the best products, the best quality. We're looking at pricing of the product. We're so product centric. It's hard for us sometimes to focus on why people buy the product. They buy this pen so they can tell their story to the world, right? And if we can connect more with why they're getting the product, then we will start to understand the value our product brings, and we'll be able to create that discrepancy. And if we can find a way to create an offer that gets them that result they want as fast as possible, as easy as possible, on the most guaranteed path, with a little scarcity and urgency, two separate things thrown in for good measure, that is going to separate you from the competition of everyone else selling the same book or the same thing. So hopefully that inspires you to go start thinking about this. It all starts with a piece of paper and a pen and drafting this out and thinking about what is it that my customer wants? Why do they buy this? And start with your best-selling product. And this will then become your hero offer. You don't have to do this for all 30 products or whatever you have in your store. You want to pick the best product and create it there because you already have proven there's already a fire there. You want to pour fuel on the fire. You've already proven that people want this. There's already product market fit. You now want to take a 5 out of 10 and turn it into a 10 out of 10. And that's what the offer is going to allow you to do. So go work on that, start mapping this out, and I can't wait to hear what you come up with. So go get after it, implement, and I'll see you next time.